By now, we know that a hyperbola equation has the formula x minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared over b squared is equal to 1. If it's written like that, then we learned in the previous lesson that that would be horizontal. If it has y first, then we know that that is vertical. But what if you are given an equation that does not look like this, or it does not look like this, but instead it has something like 3x minus 2y squared minus 6y equals to 8. What we're going to learn in this lesson is how to take this and convert it to something that looks like that. And the process that we use is completing the square. That is exactly what we did when we learned how to convert circles as well as ellipses. So here's our first example. Now that is not a hyperbola equation. We know that a hyperbola equation where it starts with x is written like this. So this number needs to be a 1. So what we'll do is we'll divide everything by 100. And so, and don't worry, this example is really easy, but we're going to be doing some more difficult ones, such as this one over here, this one over here. So it does get more challenging. Okay, so if you had to divide this on your calculator, you're going to get 1 over 25. So you could write that as x squared over 25. And then this on your calculator would be 1 over 4. So that's y squared over 4. And then this would be 1. That is now a hyperbola equation. Now, here's where it starts getting more interesting. So if you remember what we did with the ellipses, the process is exactly the same. You're going to take the x's and put them next to each other. Then you're going to take the y's and put them next to each other. Put all the other numbers on the other side. So that negative 36 became positive 36. Now, remember that when we looked at ellipses, this x squared and this y squared, they are not allowed to have a number in the front. The number in the front must be a 1. So what we're going to do is you are going to take out a 5 as a common factor for the first part. Then you're going to take out negative 4, so you're going to take the negative as well, and you're going to be left with y squared plus. That's very important that you realize that that would become a plus. 6y over there. Now we're going to do completing the square. So we're going to say x squared take away 4x. And then with completing the square, you then say plus. And then in brackets, you half this number, so that's negative 2, and you square it. Then you're going to say minus 4, and then y squared plus 6y. Then you're going to say plus half of this number, and you're going to square it. And then on the other side, you must remember that you need to add those blue parts. But you have to remember that you've got to take the 5 with the minus 2, so it's going to look like this. And then you have to take the negative 4 with the 3 squared, so that's going to become negative 4 and 3 squared like that. And so what happens now is you end up with 5, and then here you make the 2 brackets. Oh no, that's a minus. And then this you just put on the calculator like we normally do. And that would give you 20. And so now we take everything that's squared. So it's an x and a negative 2, and then a y and a positive 3. Now, we just need to divide everything by 20 to get that equal to 1, because remember, our hyperbola always equals to 1. So we're going to divide that by 20 and divide that by 20. So if you say 5 divided by 20, you're going to get 1 over 4. So we can say x minus 2 squared over 4. Take away. Now, 4 divided by 20 is 1 over 5. So that's going to become y plus 3 squared over 5. And then this side will just be a 1. Let's do another example. So step 1, get the x's together. So x squared take away 2x. Then get the y's together. There we go. Then what you need to do is make sure that this number is a 1 and the number in front here is also a 1. So you don't have to take out a common factor for the first part, but you need to take out the negative 4 for the second part, and you'd be left with y squared take away 4y. Not positive. It's take away, because if you had to multiply this back in, it would have to be positive. Okay, and then we have 20. Now we just go complete the square. So x squared take away 2x plus half of that number, which is negative 1, and then you square. And then negative 4, y squared take away 4y plus half of the negative 4, and then square it. And then on the other side, you've got the 20, and then we need to add the blue parts. So it's going to be that, and then plus, and then this number needs to go with it. So it's going to be, so we're actually going to make that a negative 4, and then negative 2 squared. Now we turn it into two brackets on this side, like that, and then this part you just put on your calculator, and that gives us 5. And then here you're going to just take the x and the negative 1, and then here you're going to take the y and the negative 2, and now we just divide everything by 5, so that we can have a 1 on the right hand side. And so on the left here we just have x minus 1 squared over 5. So then that's going to be negative 4. Now the 4 and the 5 actually don't cancel for this one. That's quite interesting. Normally they do, but sometimes they don't. And then on the right hand side you'll just be left with 1.